Welcome into the Recap Rush Hour for Tuesday, July 1st. I'm David Kaplan. It's brought to you by our great partners at the Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Chevy dealers. They are the official truck partners of the Chicago Bears. Baseball on the north side of the city. Wrigley Field will be hopping. It's the Cubs and the Cleveland Guardians. Matthew Boyd against Gavin Williams. I'll have the recap when that game goes final. Cubs come off a rough June that saw them go 13-13, but be among the league leaders in nearly every offensive category, have the single best bullpen ERA of any team in baseball, and have the 24th best starting rotation ERA among all 30 major league teams. That's why Jed Hoyer, all in to try and get his rotation upgraded in advance of the end of July trade deadline. Here is Jim Bowden, former GM of the Cincinnati Reds and the Washington Nationals, now a star on MLB Network Radio. He was on a podcast, and here's what he had to say about the Cubbies and what he's hearing.
How is this trade deadline going to shape the NL Central, which has become pretty tight race? Had the Brewers won yesterday, it would have been one game back. They're still just 2 games back of the Cubs.
Yeah, that's a great question. The Cubs are going to win the trade deadline in the NL Central. They're everywhere right now, and they're willing to part with Owen Cassey, one of their top power-hitting outfield prospects, as part of the package. And Jed Hoyer and Carter Hawkins literally are everywhere. I mean, as I talk to people in the industry, they're all in, and they're going to do what it takes to win. You know, the Reds don't have a lot of money to spend. They could use a bat. I can see them getting a bat. I don't think the Cardinals are going to do much. They need impact, but they're not going to trade the future for this year. Brewers have a really good team, and I think their starting rotation, I think the Brewers, in my opinion, is a huge threat because of that. And Brandon Woodruff is going to get back, but I don't expect them to be busy at the trade deadline. I understand they're trying to upgrade the left side of the infield. They're not getting much offense from shortstop or third base, so that's what they're trying to do. Easier said than done in this marketplace. And again, you know, we have to look at this market right now. It's going to change a lot in 31 days. But you've got a lot of buyers right now that have to turn to sellers because the sellers don't have a lot. And so you need the Orioles, right? You need the Rangers, the Red Sox, the Diamondbacks, the Twins, the Guardians. And all of them could be sellers at the deadline. If that happens, we'll have a lot of fun. We will. And it was interesting because in my poll and talking to people, I was getting, you know, Emmanuel Clase and Stephen Kwan names if the Guardians sell. I was getting Duran and Jack's names from the Twins if they sell. So I think the deadline changes a lot. But in the NL Central, I kind of feel like the Cubs are the one team that are in position to make the splash. They've got the better system and willingness to give up the system at this particular trade deadline. Remember, Jed Hoyer and Carter Hawkins' contracts are up with Kyle Tucker right here, right now. They're going to be an interesting team to watch for sure.
So that leads me right to our Anken Law question of the day. 312-6 million for the single best personal injury attorney in Illinois, the great Howard Anken. Go to ankenlaw.com. So you just heard Jim Bowden say he believes the Cubs are all in and that they will win the trade deadline with the biggest move. What is winning the trade deadline to you? Post your thoughts right here. Best response, you'll win a gift card to Lou Malnati's. Try that Buffalo Chicken Pizza. It's a collab with Buffalo Chicken Pizza, Lou Malnati's, and Frank's Red Hot. It is awesome. Go to LouMalnati's.com for a location near you. The White Sox are out west. Late night West Coast baseball against one of the best teams in the sport, the Los Angeles Dodgers. Yoshinobu Yamamoto against Shane Smith, who's got to pitch well if he wants to be in the All-Star game. He struggled last couple times out. First pitch 9:10. Start your evening at 8:30 with Ozzie Guillen and Chuck Garfien on White Sox Countdown Live. They're back for late night with Chuck and Ozzie after the ball game. And don't forget, you can get CHSN on Xfinity now. On the Ultimate tier, upgrade your Xfinity subscription or sign up. Get all the details at CHSN.com. CHSN, where Chicago comes first. And I'll have a recap when that game goes final. Baseball All-Star voting closes Wednesday morning, 11 a.m. Both Pete Crow Armstrong, who's second in National League outfield voting, and Kyle Tucker, who is third, are on track to start the Midsummer Classic. Ronald Acuna Jr., of course, the Braves are hosting the game. Acuna, the star of the Braves, he is now the leader in All-Star voting in the outfield. Shohei Ohtani leads all National League voting. Aaron Judge leads all American League voting. NBA MVP Shai Gilgeous-Alexander gets the biggest contract in NBA history per year. He agrees to a 4-year, $285 million Supermax contract extension through 2030-31, $71 million per year. That is insane. Bucks are waiving Damian Lillard and stretching the remaining $113 million on his contract in order to acquire free agent center Miles Turner from the Indiana Pacers. Guess what? Turner then agrees on a 4-year, $107 million deal. Tight end Darren Waller coming out of retirement. The Giants have traded his rights to Miami for a 6th-round pick. Our Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing and Electric stat of the day. The calendar has turned to July 1st, and that means one thing. Time for Mets fans everywhere to wish each other a happy Bobby Bonilla Day. Why? Because today, the 62-year-old will collect a check for $1.193 million from the Mets after deferring $5.9 million he was owed as they went through the Bernie Madoff scandal 25 years ago. He gets one every July 1 from 2011 through 2035. Here's today's Ankin Law question of the day. 3126 million for the best personal injury attorney in Illinois, the award-winning Howard Ankin. Find him at ankinlaw.com. So you heard Jim Bowden say he believes the Cubs are all in and that they'll win the trade deadline. Again, what is winning the trade deadline to you? What is it? Get that Lou Malnati's gift card, LouMalnatis.com, for a location near you. Have a great rest of your day. Appreciate you greatly. New Cubs podcast dropping. Check it out. Take that.